actually doing something different this year with Ghost Biker Explorations Season 6. Every single episode of Season 6 is going to be live.
Every town has a ghost story that's been passed down throughout the generations. But what if those legends are true? My job is to travel to these destinations, explore them, and figure out the mystery that lies within.
Hey everyone, what is happening? It is Thursday night and we are here at the historic Scott County Jail, and we're here for another behind the scenes live for episode 3 of season 6. And so I apologize that we're getting a 5-minute late start, but we've been here and I had to run a tour here tonight at the jail. And so I wanted to make sure that we got everyone done with the tour. That's why we're actually doing the show an hour later than normal. But I want to say hello to everyone that's in here. We've got Miss Nancy Weems. Thank you so much for watching the show and for joining us. Miss Susan Purcell, good evening to you. Ronnie Anderson, how are you doing from Bedford Paranormal? So good to see you. And Dream Interpretations by Dee Dee Jabrell. Thank you so much for joining us. And I just got to say, thank y'all so much that watched the live this past week. I mean, some of you all were on here the entire time. We had a 4.5-hour live and you guys were on, you stuck with us, asked questions. I mean, it was just an absolute blast. And so I can't tell you just how honored I am that you guys spent your time with me all this week. This is our third live for the week, so this is really cool. Hello to Marianne from the still hot Arizona. I wish that we had some of that heat here. I'm actually sitting here with my heater right beside me because it is gotten a bit cold here in East Tennessee, and it's definitely cold here in the jail tonight. Hello to Miss Janet Alms from out in Arizona as well. Becky Evans, hello. Thank you so much for watching. Miss Sonia Thompson from The Walking Dead, thank you for joining us. Yeah, Ronnie, it was interesting and it was active. I got to say, I was not expecting just that much activity, but oh my gosh, I was blown away. Marianne, definitely send it our way. And Dee Dee, it was fun. Great location. So much interaction. Hello to Mr. Bob Burnell. Thank you for watching us. And of course, I've got my lovely co-host, Miss Sally, the jail cat, sitting here with me. So tonight I've actually got a special treat. Please move on, little girl. Thank you. I've got a special treat tonight. So if you watched the show this past week, I was joined by my fellow investigator and friend, Miss Tiffany White, and then also from Shaman Sundays, Mr. Brandon Cooper. And we had such a great time. I wanted to invite them back to see if they would talk a little bit about some of the different things that we experienced, because we were there for about 4.5 hours, maybe even 5 hours before doing setup and kind of going through filling out the location. And then, we had the investigation. It ended up being a 4.5-hour investigation, and we just had so much. And so I'm really interested to get others' point of view, talk about what I experienced, and then we're also going to kind of go through some of the video. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've not had a chance to go through everything because I got back last night, and I think it was about 2:00 whenever Tiffany and I got back into town last night. And so I was pretty tired. And then I had to come in and work today, and then worked all day here at the jail. And then I had to do a tour tonight. So I have not had the chance to go through it. So as we're going through this, we're all going to be seeing it ourselves together for the first time. So hello, Sylvain. Thank you so much for watching. But I'm going to go ahead and pull on. I don't know if Tiffany is going to be joining us, but I'm going to go ahead and pull on Mr. Brandon Cooper. Hey.
You ever just want a Amazon lady behind you?
Look at that.
Wait a minute. How do I do this? Over here.
That's like
There you are.
that's like angel and devil on each shoulder. Look at that.
Look at that. See? This is just for you. I did all this.
I like that.
It took me all of 30 seconds. Thank you.
But I know you are very busy, producing shows and everything. So I appreciate you coming on and chatting with me, Brandon.
No problem. I'm actually ready to talk because I've just been sitting here for like 3 hours producing it. I'm like, other than saying, you got 2 minutes, stuff like that. That's about it.
Well, I know a lot of the folks there in the chat room there, they know Brandon. They watch his shows. They've seen me on his shows. They've also seen him on my shows before. And so this was just such a great fit. So I do want to kind of pull up a few of these comments. And Brandon, you got some love over there.
Hey, Becky. Hey, Bob. We got Dawn from Alabama.
Yeah, another Alabama
Hi,
girl,
Trish.
Miss Trista. Yeah.
Trista. I said Trish.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I went to public schools in South Carolina.
Okay. So before we pull up and talk, I just, first off, thank you for letting me get in there to Hey Good Meal. I mean, I was first introduced to it whenever I did your Paracon, the Hey Good Meal Paracon back in March. Yep. And there's just something special and magical about that place and the activity. You told me it was active, but you didn't tell me it was active.
I like to try to keep my secrets, but I just couldn't hide it from the Ghost Biker explorations. That place is amazing. And that's why I was smiling the whole time when I met up with you. I'm like, oh, she has no idea.
No, I mean, because I did not do the public investigations whenever we were there for the event. And I did get to walk around and you could feel the intense activity. But actually being in there and getting to investigate, it was honestly so much that by the time we were done, I had nothing left.
No, it was like, yeah, we were spent. I mean, we still needed to get B-roll and stuff like that. There was just no way. There was no way.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm seeing a lot of comments talking about the activity. Thank you all for putting that in there. And if you don't mind,
Ronnie.
When you go back and watch, send me these timestamps because I want to do call outs to you guys who I've seen and noticed things. I mean, because we can't see and hear it all, and you're sitting there experiencing it in the moment. But yeah, it was definitely active, and it was active from the minute we got there. And this place has not been overly investigated, which is something that I absolutely just loved.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to come out about the paranormal activity, but it's been a well-kept secret. But I mean, I knew once I had the Paracon and everybody got to see how special of a place this is, it would blow up. I know there was a team there that the Sunday before we went out there to film. And so they're starting to go out there, and it's really good too for Hey Good Meal because it is a non-profit.
Yes.
And it's trying to become its own entity to where it doesn't have to rely on county or city anymore. So every little bit helps. So
absolutely. And people don't always realize just how much paranormal does for these types of locations, whether it be a for-profit, but especially a not-for-profit, because a lot of money, I mean, just speaking from the jail itself, a lot of money goes into keeping the doors open here at the jail and just keeping the climate controlled and the power on. I can't even imagine in a location that's 55 acres that, I mean, has not livestock, but has chickens and different, I mean, it's a living, I'm not sure what you would call it, a living museum, if you will. So that's what has been so important to me about these locations that we've been covering is getting the word out about them because the paranormal can really help with paranormal tourism.
And see, not only is it paranormal now out there, but they do research there. Like they've been growing 300-year-old wheat and
Oh,
been making bread with it and finding, hey, baby, there's my wife. And finding us, and they would be, people would eat the bread made with a 300-year-old wheat, and even if they had gluten allergies or anything, that wheat would not affect them.
really?
Uh-huh.
Now that's
We
fascinating.
also have some 1,000-year-old corn that we're going to try to bring back. So I mean, it's not just that paranormal education. I mean, we've a living history museum. I guess would be a good way to call it.
Mhm.
Blacksmithing. I mean, there's everything out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they're open daily, if I'm not mistaken. I will definitely pull their actually is the best place to find them on their website.
Yeah, probably. And they're closed on I think Monday and Tuesday,
Okay, I'm gonna
and
pull this.
open Wednesday through Sunday. I believe is correct, but.
Okay, let me pull this up, and then that way we can share it out there. So it looks like they're calling it a Folk Life Center
There we go.
here. Yep, Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They've got very similar hours to us, except we're closed on Wednesdays. But if you go to Hey Good Meal historic site, and of course, when we re-release the episode and stuff, we'll definitely be putting more of this information out here. But I'm just going to share this link here so that people can go and check it out. Now, if somebody wanted to do a paranormal investigation there, what would they need to? Is it best to reach out to the mill itself? Reach out
Uh,
to you?
no, it's best to just reach out to the mill itself. And when you go to the website, uh, you scroll down a little bit, and at some
Okay.
point, a little box comes up that says "Let's chat" or whatever.
I know there's a contact.
Okay, that it may be.
Let's see if it.
I don't know if it.
Yeah,
There
if
it
I
is.
hit the contact, it says
Okay,
let's
yeah.
talk.
Just hit that and you schedule a time to
Okay.
either talk with Billy or Kim. I mean, you might get me, but I'm gone. I go so much that they just handle it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. And this has a lot of information, but I do want to point this out because, again, the funding for these places are so important. The Storytelling Festival that they've got coming up on October 21st, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., where they're going to have vendors and food trucks and ghost stories and everything else. Looks like it's $5 admission. And so that's one of the things we really like to talk about because each of these locations that we've been visiting, they've got different different events that's going on. So, yeah, we like to really put that out there because get those numbers up for people coming in to these
Right.
festivals.
Yeah.
So, and go ahead and before we get into talking tonight, because it looks like Tiffany's here and she's going to be getting ready to come on here in a few minutes. Talk briefly about what you've got coming up. Here
I will,
with,
but I do want to mention the Storyteller and the Liars that's coming up.
okay.
It's only $5 to get in, and that's for all day. I mean, the tickets aren't bad. Come see me. I'll be there. I will actually be working from noon to 5
You work?
out there. I mean, I'll sit there and tell cars where to park from noon to 5.
All right.
Yes. So
You might
come
even
see
tell
me.
them a story.
Hey, come out. It is the Liars competition. So you never know. But I just wanted to mention that it's only $5. It's a beautiful place. Bring the kids. Extremely pet friendly. Just pick up after your dogs. And yeah, come out and see us. Sorry, I wanted to get that out there.
No, that's like I said, that's every single one of these places that we've done so far is having a storytelling festival here for October. So I love that. Ghost Bikers, that's how I started, was through storytelling. And I mean, I love seeing that tradition carried on because it's a dying tradition, I think.
Right, and I see Crystal Hill says, do they have the storytelling every year? Yes. And you can see a list when you go to the website. And also, Crystal, I saw where you said Carol and I need to come up there next year. How you going to come see me? You already said you're going to see Sarah Lemos. Same weekend. Can't come see me.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Ghost Hunting Housewives. Sorry.
Those ladies, I loved meeting them, and I hate I'm not going to get to see them this weekend there at the Haunts and Legends Festival, but definitely a great group. Loved meeting them down at the Deep South Paracon.
They're amazing. Awesome
Yeah.
people. Love them.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. I'm looking over here in the comment section, and Dee Dee says that she has added this place to her para bucket list, which Dee Dee's out in California. So
Ooh.
yeah. So
Yeah, please
definitely
do.
come
out
on
in
over here
March.
to the east. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that while we get Tiffany ready here.
So my Paracon, the Haunting at the Mill Paracon, we're going into year 2. Had a pretty good, decent turnout last year. Right now, I am looking for sponsors and vendors. Definitely looking for vendors. And it's easy to find. If you go on YouTube and the little search thing, you just type in the Haunting at the Mill. The group page will come up. All the pages will come up. And it has links. Voluntold work. Yeah, I know. I got myself into that. Or you can reach me at shamansundays@gmail.com if you have any questions. And yes, the powwow. And there's another one coming up. There's 2 powwows a year.
Okay, wonderful. And then we got Henry Lee from the old Gilchrist County Jail in Trenton. We highlighted that location in season 5 of Ghost Biker Explorations. So definitely, folks, go check out the old Gilchrist County Jail in Florida, Trenton, Florida. That place, another place that's just off the chain. And then Kim Brady says, Brandon, maybe we can come see you Saturday at Haygood Mill after the Alzheimer's walk.
I forgot what walk?
Alzheimer's.
Maybe not.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull Tiffany up here. Hey.
Hey.
Can you hear us
Tiffany.
okay?
I can hear y'all. Can you hear me? Am I
I
too
can.
loud or?
I mean, yes. No, you're way too loud. It's just
bust out your eardrums. Well, I wasn't
That's
sure
why I
how
wear
to
hearing
set my
aids.
volume.
Well, no,
So-
I'm just excited that you guys were able to come on here tonight because, I love talking about these experiences because we all had experiences at this place. It wasn't just me putting out an episode. I mean, we all had these great experiences and everyone had these great ideas of things to try. So I think I'm going to get the video queued up, but I think we kind of talk a little bit about it.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was a great time, and we just meshed well together, so it made for a great night of investigating. So that makes a
Absolutely.
difference.
Yeah, it does. It does. We all hit it off, and it was a blast.
Yeah, we had a
Pleasure.
great time. It was nice to meet
Yeah.
you too, Kim.
So we got Nando here from over in the UK. Thank you so much for staying up late with us, Nando, and watching. And did get to see Kim for just a few minutes. Hopefully when we're back, we'll get
Yeah.
to see her some more. Yeah, if you guys have watched my past seasons, you've seen me investigate quite a bit with Tiffany. I mean, she's on several seasons. So I'm so thrilled that we were able to. We've done 2 investigations this season now, and I was so thrilled that you came to experience this place because this place
so
was
cool.
different than the others.
Everybody needs to go. Have to go.
Yes.
I'm going back multiple times. Everybody needs to go. This place is amazing. Really is.
One of the first things we did whenever we got there was Brandon showed us around. Tiffany and I went through and really just kind of spent some time at the location. And that's been something I know for me, this whole season's been a big learning experience because I love doing lives. I love interacting with people. But it's way different when you're doing a live episode versus doing a produced episode because a lot of the time you got a set amount of time when you're in there. You got to get your B-roll. You've got to get everything. You've got to do the investigation. But then it's like, you still get the time to go in and spend time there. With the lives, when you're on a tighter schedule like that, you don't always get the time to go in and spend time letting the location tell you where to start. And we did that this time. And I think that it really paid off doing
It
that.
did. Yeah. It does. I mean, you need to settle into the energy and see what's going on, and they need to settle into your energy. And I mean, some people do well with that bust in, get it done, kind of go get them attitude. But I just find that the more, when I come in, if I just take time to, fill out the place and let it fill me out, I get better stuff. So, but yeah, it's hard to do that with a live, so. But at least everybody got to see what it's like when we're actually out doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And you're always having problems. Stuff is breaking. Stuff's still breaking for me. I've been trying to get my internet going for like 20 minutes now. But I mean, you're constantly moving and having to pack everything up and go to the next place. And I mean, and you might sit there for an hour talking to yourself and not get nothing. And, so I mean, you on a polished episode, you just see, everything that's all the activity. You don't see all the dead time, but that's nice too, because in the dead time we can chat. And
Yeah. And
Right.
we can still see you. Can you see us?
okay, there you are.
Okay. I was going to say, we can still see you. It may be me. Who knows?
I'm
Was it
breaking
both of us?
everything. If it's electronic, I'm breaking it today.
Well, and you make a really good point. And that's one of the things that's been learning for me, is because, I edit my own episodes. And of course, it's challenging to put them together because you want to show when things don't happen. You don't want to just show everything that happens. And
Yeah.
so trying to show all that in a 40-minute episode is a challenge in and of itself. I mean, you have no choice on a live. If something isn't going to happen or something breaks, there you are. And
Right.
I've learned that people are so forgiving on all this when it comes to the live.
Well, you know why that is, right?
Why is that?
It's because they know it's real. Not this,
Right.
True.
not
It's real time.
some of the stuff that we've heard with, fishing line and some pretty popular ghost hunting people.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me fix
right.
this.
And I
There we
mean, there's no way that, at this location, there's no way we could cover the entire place. And you had, the golf cart there, which made access between all
That
of
was
the
nice.
different cabins. That was very, very nice, because we were talking about pre-setting up. Now we went in, we spent a lot of time with kind of thinking about what we wanted to do, and we thought about setting equipment, but we really just opted to just freestyle it, really, and
Right.
go in that way. And I'm honestly glad we did, because I just think it would have been completely different if we had done it the other way, just not planning it out,
I don't
Yeah.
know that the spirits gave us a choice.
Yeah, I don't think they were going to give us a choice either. And I think that if we'd have set up static cameras and equipment, we wouldn't have got anything. They wanted to interact with us. That was it. So we would have wasted time setting up static cameras and stuff. They wouldn't have done nothing with them, I don't think. I'm like you. I think that was the best choice. And then too, it worked out because we had so many issues just trying to get our cameras to work. So
Oh
you
my
know.
gosh.
God.
The
But everything happens
issues-
for a reason. So,
It does. It does.
maybe that
And
was the spirit's telling us, like, leave that crap alone and come talk to us,
uh-huh. And that's, I want to talk briefly about the issues beforehand. And so we were there 4 to 4.5 hours beforehand, getting everything ready, just acclimating ourselves to the location to us and such. And once we're in there and we're getting, like, we were really ready at that point an hour before to really start hitting the ground running. And it was nothing but problems. Well, actually, it was nothing but problems the entire time.
Oh my. Even
Ooh.
after we got off the live, there were
Oh.
problems trying to just pack up and get
I
out
will
of
say that the ghost biker really does ride a motorcycle.
there.
You better say that.
Because I told her, I jinxed it. It's my fault. Why not? Let's
did
blame
jinx it.
homeless Santa Claus.
And then poor thing had to ride that thing in 30-degree weather. And it's all
At
your
4
fault.
a.m.
4 a.m. 30 minutes. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it
4
was cold.
a.m. 30-degree
Yeah.
weather. Let's just say it didn't seem so long and so bad in the beginning. And then it was like, are we ever going to get there? And then I couldn't move to look because I was so bundled up. But yes, I do my own stunts.
Yes. 100%. It was amazing. Like, my wife wakes up and there's a motorcycle in my spot, and I didn't even tell her anything, and that was just. So she does her own stunts, ladies and gentlemen.
I have a
do.
feeling your wife wakes up to a lot of weird things, Brandon.
Oh, it's always something in this house. I'll be up with an SLS walking around or something. They're just in the middle of the night because I can't sleep. I'm bored. It's just, or I'll bring I have a haunted doll and I'll bring it up and pick because she hates that thing, and so it's always something. Yeah, I do want to say that
keep it
Miranda
interesting
Young,
though.
Well, yeah, I did want to say that Miranda Young is now accepting donations for an actual bike trailer. So if you'd like to donate an actual motorcycle trailer, she would send it to the historic Scott County Jail.
That's right.
Yeah, we can start you a GoFundMe.
There we go.
Yeah.
I just need to look pitiful enough in cold weather and be like, guys, I need a trailer.
Yeah, like look at her. She's so poor. She's so pitiful. She's poor, and she doesn't make any money off of this stuff. Well, she really doesn't. So
No, I really don't.
Oh, I can make her GoFundMe sound great.
I think we should.
You'll have
we need to
2
do
bike
that,
trailers.
Tiff.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go.
You're gonna wake up to a GoFundMe account.
Exactly. Yeah, it seemed like it was everything from when we left all the way through, and of course when we got there. So, by the 3rd episode, I guess I jinxed it because I was bragging about the fact that it's like, okay, it's just going to continue to get better and better with the setup. We've got great lighting on this. We've got a great team who's here with me, helping me investigate. And then cameras, we know how we're going to run the cameras, and boom, StreamYard is like, nope. And so the cameras wouldn't turn. We originally had to film this in selfie mode. So we're turning the cameras around.
Difficult.
It was
kind of look this way and be like trying to look, but not put your face in the camera and make sure that you were getting her on camera or whatever you needed to get. So that was kind of hard. But the problem was we made a plan. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Don't make a plan.
I had to use my phone as a monitor so I could see where I'm filming. But you know what?
Well, that's what I was doing. I was holding my phone and using hers and, trying to make sure, okay, that looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, you make it work. Yeah. Roll with the punches.
You do. And that's what we always say. If you go to my website, it says expect the unexpected. And so anything less would be normal,
uncivilized,
I guess.
Yeah.
So we may do with that, and of course we may do with that up until time. And I'll admit I'm a bit of a perfectionist and a bit crazy when it comes to October and putting out the episodes. So my energy probably could have powered a motorcycle with the energy that I had beforehand, just with everything going wrong,
I think you'd have gave TVA a run for their money.
What was that, Tiffany?
I said, I think you would have gave TVA a run for their money. That's our local power plan around here for those of you that ain't local.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I got a little bit concerned, and this is what we'll say, when things weren't working. But like I said, I had great people that was helping me out here with the investigation, got me back on track equipment-wise and mentally. And I think right there from the beginning. So while we're talking about that, I'm going to go ahead and queue up YouTube here, and we're going to kind of skip around on the episode, because I have not had the opportunity to watch. I'm sure y'all probably haven't either.
No,
I've seen. I tried to watch a little bit of it, and I just haven't had time. But what I
Yeah.
saw looked good.
Well, I'm going to kind of just pull up, but I think we need to kind of we'll skip around and maybe watch some of it for the first time together. We won't worry about doing all of it because I mean it's 4.5 hours, and I mean 4.5 hours of solid activity. I saw a
Yeah.
question on here. Dee Dee says, "Did that location have dead time?" LOL. No, it. I
Mm-mm.
mean, at least not where we were.
No.
There was no dead time. And I'm not saying, you know, if we went tomorrow, it would be the same. I just think that, you know, I think a lot of the time what you bring into it and your energy that you have, and I think we just had a good team that was there too.
The team makes all the difference in the world, in
Mhm.
my opinion.
Mhm.
I've done this since I was a kid, and
Yeah.
my partner and I did started the public ghost tours at Brushy. So I've seen hundreds of teams come in,
Mhm.
and so I have had a firsthand look at the dynamics and how the team dynamics makes a huge difference in the activity that people get. And sometimes even just switching partners, if your team is
Yeah.
breaking off into 2s or 3s, sometimes just switching partners helps. But team dynamics makes a huge thing. But sometimes these places are just quiet,
Yeah.
maybe time's different
Mhm.
for them and they're off doing something fun.
Yeah. And that's the risk that you take when you're doing a live. But that's all the fun in it is
Right. Because you
I'm
don't know what you're going to get.
yeah. And I'm okay if I go. Now, I'm not saying I don't want next week because next week is a far location to go and there be nothing. But
No.
yeah.
No,
But
no. Let's hope
Ugh.
that drive's worth it.
yeah. But you know what I'm saying is it's okay if it's not because it is real, and I'm really starting to really kind of fall in love with the way the lives have been going just because of that because you have those natural ebbs and flows of activity and just not knowing and if you don't get anything it's okay and I kind of like that.
Right.
And it's nice to bring the viewers in too and have that interactive experience, and I love doing any kind of experiments. So having people ask questions and then get answers that question wasn't even spoke out loud. Or I've done experiments where people all over the country have been focused on one word and trying to send it to that person, and it works. I mean, so bringing those people in, like, what kind of equipment do you want to use, what kind of questions do you have, that makes it so much more fun. And it keeps, when you do this all the time, you run out of things to ask. You get tired of
Yes.
asking, are you a woman or are you a man? Like, you run out of ideas, and sometimes it's just a rough day and you're blanking out. We all have
Yeah.
those days where we can't think. And so having people ask questions, now that you're 6 seasons in, I can see the difference in the lives and how the seasons have progressed. And there's been so much interaction with this season already, and it's just great.
Mhm.
So I love it personally. So
Yeah,
I
and
think you're doing a great job. I mean, I
thank
think
you.
it's really cool. It's a nice season.
Well, thank you.
And it's
Thank
gonna
you.
get better because we're not done
That's
yet.
right. No,
Yeah.
three more or 2 more episodes at this point, possibly 3, but definitely 2 more episodes. And you actually said something that got me to thinking. So all 3 of us either run paranormal at a location or have led guided ghost hunts for a long time. And I think a lot of that, where you hit on with having the teams and seeing people and seeing dynamics, and especially like with these guided ghost hunts and stuff, seeing people come in when they won't ask questions for whatever reason or blanking on what to ask. I think it's interesting to have that perspective of because I know all 3 of us have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. The attitude that they have when they come in, if they have a bad attitude, they're not getting anything. And, I mean, if they're already have their mindset that they're coming in and finding 1,000 demons, they're going to find a demon. I mean,
11,000.
11,000. Yeah. However many you think you're going to find, you're going to find it, so you're going to find what you go looking for.
That's
and then
right.
too, I've noticed people that want it really bad don't get anything. They're because they try to force it. You can't force this stuff. They're not performing monkeys. You need to be relaxed, calm, not sick, well rested, sober.
Yes.
You don't need to be ill. You need to be in a good headspace, and that is going to get you that, and a good team to work with is going to get you great activity. So, there's a lot that goes into it emotionally and psychologically, more than just the equipment and showing up and saying, "Hey, turn that on." I mean, there's a lot to it. And then too, when you're at a location for a very long time, these spirits, they get pretty protective over you. And so if you come in, just a tip for like people who don't investigate, or even investigators that we've noticed as tour operators, if you're rude to the tour operators that's been there for a decade, you can just pack it up and go home, because the spirits don't like it and they ain't gonna talk to you. So your best bet's come in with a good attitude, be nice, and
be respectful.
you're gonna get some good
everybody.
stuff.
Yes.
But I forgot. I wanted to mention it when we were doing the live. Saturday was a solar eclipse. So,
That's right.
We had the full moon and then the solar eclipse. We've had all this stuff going on in the universe, and all this, tug and pull and stuff. So, maybe that affected some of the stuff too. Because I know, like, at some locations, everybody talks about going on full moons. At my location, you don't get nothing on a full moon.
Same here.
Nothing.
I mean, it's starting to rain here, and just tonight during our flashlight tour, we had 3 people here, and one was a kid, and it was active just during the flashlight tour the whole night. And I attribute a lot of that here to rain. When we have rain and storms, it's more for us, it's more so the weather than it is the moon phases.
Yeah, weather plays a part. We get good stuff. Cold weather, I get better activity when it's cold. I get awesome activity in thunderstorms, and then snow. When I get a lot of snow. Of course, we don't get a lot of snow here anymore. We used to when we were kids. Miranda and I don't live too far from each other. We used to get a ton of snow, and we don't get a lot of snow anymore. But when we do, we get good activity with it if you're willing to freeze to death to do it. So, do you find the same thing, Brandon, where you're at?
I mean, I do. It's not so much, and I see somebody, Paul, yes, this is live, not just the chat.
Yeah. This is actually the live follow-up where we're chatting about the episode. So, please go on. Sorry.
No. After you, this is the ghost biker exploration. Please.
No, I was basically just drawing attention to a few people's comments over here. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone when we start going through the episode. If you don't mind, because I'm pulling up your comments, but if you have any questions or anything, please just put them in all caps so that I make sure that I don't miss anything that you all have as we're going through here, because I will be watching this. And I just want to say hello to Dino from the Late Late Horror Show. Definitely right when you say moisture. And then Bob Burnell, there's always the time of year as well, the veil being at its thinnest. And then also where Trista says that lineup creates great activity. So please, Brandon, go on and continue what you were saying about there where you're at in South Carolina.
Oh, brain fart. Okay, I'm back. I was like, what was I saying? Okay, so, it's not like full moon. That's, and that whole mythos goes with law enforcement and nursing for full moons, not paranormal.
Yes, absolutely true.
I've gotten like most of really good activity during the new moon when there's nothing out.
Yeah.
Or especially if you can get a new moon and cold night, it's gonna suck, but I get great,
Yeah, same for us. And, a lot of people want to do like Halloween and stuff like that. We
Yeah.
have found that Easter is the
Mhm.
weekend to ghost hunt. At least
Yes.
at my location. I don't know about everywhere else, but Easter, I mean, I have seen things on Easter. Me and Miranda, she's come on several of our Easter lockdowns. I've seen things on Easter weekend that you just can't even put into words. And
Yeah.
if you weren't there, even if I had a video to show you, you wouldn't believe it. And so Easter for me is the time of year to, I don't know what it is, but it builds on Friday and it builds all
Mhm.
weekend till midnight on Saturday, and then it explodes and you see some of the craziest stuff. So, Halloween and full moons and, the typical,
It's too
myths
stereotypical for
are,
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
the typical stereotypes are not always correct.
Yeah.
For sure.
Try it and see.
Yeah, maybe
I
maybe in
mean,
some places they do.
yeah. Yeah. So, let's see. I was just kind of looking at the comments here. Thank you, Dino. Appreciate that. And hello to Mr. Daryl Paulette. I'm going to be seeing you real soon, buddy. So as far as this week when we were there in Pickens, South Carolina, it was a beautiful, beautiful day. Good temperature. I mean, temperature did drop that night. It was clear, which I do think a lot of that cooler activity, cooler temperatures was what attributed to that. But when we started off, we decided we were going to hit the, I believe it was the Murphy cabin. I think it was Murphy. And Brandon, just briefly tell us, I know you gave a little history on the show, but since people didn't see it, just briefly about Hey Good Meal, like we did talk about it being a living meal. The cabins and that sort of thing, they are reconstructed from other areas and brought there, right?
Right. All the cabins. There's two buildings that's on the property that were there from the beginning. One is the mill. And that one obviously wasn't there from the beginning, but 1800s. And the pottery barn, which is over by the stage. Other than that, all the cabins have been relocated from, not very far from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't so much think that it's the cabins. I think it's more the land, and then the cabins just kind of came with some accentuating spirits. But I mean, it was a Native American. It was the Cherokee Trading Post. It's always been something. The petroglyphs there, trying kind of sort of dating them to like 10,000 years, but you can't really date a rock. But I mean, it's always been something going on, and the cabins and the blacksmithing area and all that, when it's all going, when the mill's working and the blacksmith is out there, is when I really get great activity. If they've been out there all day working the mill, making grits, and the blacksmith's in there banging away, that night usually I have wonderful activity. So I mean, it's like you said, it's a living history museum. Somebody's there every day. The spirits, always see people, but nobody has tried to talk to them, which is another reason why I think the activity is amazing, because they're getting heard.
So essentially,
they definitely wanted their story heard.
Yeah, and
Sorry,
essentially, no, you're fine. So essentially, recreating the time and space like its own trigger item really helps.
Yeah, because there are spirits from probably well before the 1600s that are towards that back patch of woods that and then there's spirits from probably every time, like 1800s, and it still kind of looks like what it looked like back then. So they're very comfortable with, and I think it brings more activity, especially when it gets cold, because nobody's outside. Everybody tries to go in the cabin and get warm.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was nice and chilly, or got chilly. And the colder it got, the more activity we got. And you can see the progression on the live.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you can. Now, Dee Dee asks, and then we're going to get into the video and talk about some specifics. She asks if any of us had any weird dreams after the investigation.
I didn't.
I was so tired. To be completely honest, after
Yeah,
that
I died.
motorcycle ride, Tiffany and I died. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a long weekend since Friday. We had Monday off, and we really didn't have Monday off because we had to work and stuff like that and recuperate from a 3-day weekend in London, Kentucky for her event up there, and which was a blast too. So when she does it again next year, y'all definitely need to go. But yeah, no, we died. I didn't dream anything, but it's definitely a place if you are an energy worker or you have any kind of psychic ability. I think it's definitely a place where you would be able to hone in on that and use that skill really well. I think some locations do a real good job of cloaking the spirits there, but here you could feel it. I mean, you could, whatever was going on, wherever we were at, you could feel the energy. You was getting, imagery and things like that. So, I mean, it was an awesome place. It really was. It really was. And we was able to pick up on tons of stuff just from the energy and I mean, I don't profess to be a psychic, but I mean, you do this long enough, you get an intuition, and we do have a little bit of history, a family history of that kind of stuff, but I don't walk around giving psychic readings, but some locations are just easier to read, and this is one of them. And I think it is because the energy and the land is just, I mean, when you step foot on it, you feel it vibrates through your body. You can feel the energy pulsating. Like, I ain't never been to a location like it, really. I don't think. Not like that.
No, I mean, to me, at times, just being on the petroglyphs, it was like, it's hard to describe, but you feel the vibration almost like a twitching of your muscles. Even I was feeling that all up my legs when I was standing on them, and then just the energy,
emotion.
Yes,
a lot of emotion in this place. So you're not just picking up on energy or an image. You're not picking up on imagery or images. What am I trying to say? I'm sorry. Y'all have to excuse me. I lose my place a lot. But we were getting emotional stuff too. And especially where the petroglyphs were. I mean, like, I didn't want to leave the room, and it, like, you kept hearing a voice say, don't leave, stay, sit down, sit with me. And like, I was like, I have never wanted to hug a rock so much in all my life. Like, it was crazy. And I mean, to feel that, I mean, talk about a sacred place and something with what really felt like sacred energy, that had it for sure for me.
Oh, for sure.
I was just sitting there at the door. I was like, I'll be back. I didn't want to leave.
And yes, so Brandon was shaking his head. Yes. So can you tell us about your dream that you had?
I mean,
or at least how you slept?
Yeah, because, well, I definitely will tell you how I slept, and my wife will attest to this.
She was telling us about that yesterday at dinner, which was wild. Yeah.
So apparently every 30 seconds for the entire night, I was tossing and turning to the point where, and she's never done this the entire time we were married, but she's never gotten out of bed to go sleep downstairs. But it was whatever the energy, which, I mean, I know, and I really, so the dream itself was kind of, like a storytelling dream. I don't want to get too far into it.
Sure.
It was enough to have me tossing and turning all night long.
Well, if Dee Dee is amazing at what she does with her dream interpretation, she's been doing it for a long time. If you're willing to share with her privately, I bet she would probably kind of give you. I sent her some dreams I had, and it was amazing. It was really interesting how she interpreted that. I think she's been doing this for 30 years she's been doing it for a long time. So if you ever want to share that dream, definitely. Okay. Yeah. She said, I can help you get the message. And
okay. Yeah. Cause that, I don't mind talking about the dream, but I never talk about it until I've either sat down and interpreted it or had somebody do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get on my cell phone right now, Dee Dee, and I'm going to add you on Facebook. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem talking about it, but I need the message first before I can just put it out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and cue this up here. Do you guys have anywhere in particular? I mean, I know a couple of my favorite spots, but I think right now I'm going to kind of start it without sound and just kind of have it running where we had gone in here and gotten started in the Murphy cabin. And again, because this location has not been overly investigated, we started out really basic with the flashlights, which, I mean, if anybody's watched any of my past episodes, they're simple. That's one of my favorite tools.
Hey, and I didn't say this when we were out there, but I hate flashlights.
We changed our mind, though, did we not?
Quickly changed my mind. Like, I've been doing this a long time. I have never seen flashlights like this. I'm a believer now.
We always get flashlight activity like this. This is one of our go-to things.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in locations that have not been investigated.
Yeah. I always start out with that. I mean, to be completely honest, I always start out with just straight EVP sessions. But in the essence of time and in the essence of, I don't want to say entertainment, but it's really hard to translate just a straight EVP session out into a live, because you can sit and listen, but a lot of people may not hear because of the audio. Yeah, and things when you're going through a third party, like when we're sitting there recording with our audio and stuff, it's not compressed like Facebook, YouTube is. Those videos are compressed where they're being put on there. The quality is not as good. So you're going to be getting artifacts with the imagery, maybe some false positives there, and you're going to start getting some artifacts with the audio just because you are broadcasting. In this instance, we're broadcasting almost through a double medium with StreamYard going through both StreamYard, YouTube, and Facebook. So it's harder to just go in and just do just those straight EVP sessions. So it's always good to have something that they can trigger. And one of the easiest things I found to trigger are the flashlights, because they're just picking up the energy. They're just there, you know?
Did you just have a door shut at the jail, Miranda? Because I just heard what sounded like a metal door close.
It's very possible. I did hear that sound. That's why as I was talking, I got a little bit, bit distracted.
Yeah, I heard it. Okay.
Yeah. We've been having weird stuff all night. We were seeing things all night too, which was wild. Around the corners, there was, I kept thinking I kept seeing somebody in a corner. May have just been lack of sleep and doing 3 lives and traveling through 4 states and all that good stuff. But then again, maybe it's something supernatural. But this to me was interesting because they were intelligent responses.
Yes,
they were, and right on the money and quick, very quick.
Mm-hmm. And James Brady says we usually have a lot of luck with flashlights too. But I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people that share your sentiments, Brandon. That just, you know, some people. I mean, I'm a firm believer in the fact that, you can debunk a lot of stuff, and I think you should debunk a lot of stuff. You should really hawk over what you're doing. But I also think you have to look at each situation and look at the what's going on around you and see, because I don't think we can limit spirit communication when they have, you know, I mean, they'll talk through a smoke detector if that's the only means that they have to communicate.
And I mean, I get it. It's just too many moving parts that I can say, well, maybe it's the spring or maybe it's this. But I can't, there's nothing I can say about the flashlight sessions at Haygood. I got nothing. I can, yeah. So I'm a believer now, and the multiple flashlights. Like I've seen it done with one flashlight. Well, no, I'm not even going to watch that because it could be the spring.
I don't like one flashlight, and I don't like not having my EDI box with my flashlight. And that was the thing we were getting over with the other flashlight there, is we were getting hits on the EDI box when the flashlight would light up.
Yep.
I think sometimes too, people don't give the flashlights enough of a chance. My partner Jamie and I, when we first went to Brushy, nobody had ever investigated it. It was the year it shut down. It was actually Halloween night. That was the first time we investigated, and we just never left. And so, but it took us a solid year of them using flashlights, and there was no power anywhere on the property before they would touch any other piece of equipment. So we had to have patience with the flashlights because that's the only way they would communicate. And I mean, that's one of the biggest places that I've seen the most flashlight activity outside of Haygood. So that the way this night went with the flashlight activity just made my day. I love it because a lot of these places that are overly investigated, it's almost hard to get them to intelligently work with the equipment, and they won't work with flashlights and things like that. And and I love, like Miranda, I love my EDI box, and we can, if you use the EDI box and you have it set in long enough to acclimate to the area, it will start, you can tell when stuff's getting ready to happen just by watching the box. And that has been my favorite thing. I got the original EDI box when it first came out, and we'd been using flashlights up until that, got the EDI box. And then so we started noticing that pattern. Then we got them to mess with the EMF on the EDI box. Then we got them to do that. And I know that people go location aren't able to take the time to do that. But if you are a location owner, give it time. The flashlights really do work. And I mean, they will work on cue. You point at it and it will turn it on and turn it off. And, faulty connection or not, I mean, some of the stuff that we were getting, faulty connection doesn't explain.
No, not at all.
1, 2, 3 off, or hey, turn this on and show me this, and it does it.
Well, that's why
I love making a believer out of people with the flashlights. So
well,
my uncle was not a believer of the flashlights. He was like, "Oh, y'all got remotes," and we finally got him to do it, and he was sitting there going, "Oh."
I want to talk about,
like, he was amazed,
Yep.
If I can get to the point here, so I want to talk about, while we're talking about the flashlights, I thought that this was a pretty incredible session that we did in the other cabin that was right beside it there, and
this is my favorite.
It's mine too.
Yeah,
and
this is what sold me on the flashlights.
And so, just to kind of briefly talk about it before I start it here, and again, I take no offense. I see Bob's comment, and I totally agree that we have our tools we like. I am not a big K2 meter person, but since I'm and that's one, and that's one that's
your prerogative.
We use here. And as he says, but just because it does not work for me does not mean it does not work for you. And that's
because
kind of
some stuff won't work for people.
No, It
Like
won't.
dowsing
Right.
rods, a lot of people love them, but
Mhm.
there are some people that dowsing rods will not work for, no matter how hard they
Mhm.
try. You
Yeah.
need to find what works for you and develop your own style, and it just takes time and
And
learning,
and yeah, and I mean,
trial and
that's the
error.
same with any tool.
Yeah.
Any tool, it's the same thing. That's why I don't like it when people say, I like it when they express what they like and don't like, but when they, oh, this is a bunch of bunk, it might not, I don't think you can make a blanket statement on certain things like that, because when
No.
other things like this that happens in the video happens, I mean, I've had people say that about the spirit box and say that about the ovulas, but I've done things where I've had it call out what I've held up and never said what I was holding up and had it called out on both. I have no explanation for that. So this cabin that we're in right here, so we've switched cabins at this point, and the story, I show in the beginning of it, I show the blood stain that's on the wall. I also show the hole in the ceiling. The story from this cabin goes that there was a group of men that were playing cards, and one of the guys got caught up cheating, and so he took off and he tried to climb up through the hole. And as he went up through the hole, apparently the guys disemboweled him. And can you guys hear me okay? Am I getting some weird feedback?
No, you're
I'm
good.
It's me.
Oh, okay.
I'm just having all kinds of I know I'm moving everywhere and making noise. I'm having all kinds of technical problems, but I think I fixed it.
Okay. I was
So,
hearing a
sorry.
buzzing and I thought it was me. But this guy got disemboweled. And so, we thought that what we would do is sit down and play a game of poker with the spirits that were there. We gave them each a flashlight, and we made sure that they were cool with, their flashlight. They were turning them on and off. And then we played a couple hands of cards. So if I've got this in the right area, let me start this. I'm going to start it with sound. You guys feel free to chime in at any time. And, if anyone has any questions or anything, like I said, feel free to put that in there. I do want to look at the comments right quick. Dee Dee says, I agree about tools. Sometimes it's the location and one thing works for one, but not the other. But isn't that the best too? I mean, because the times we don't get things, if the flashlights went off every time, I feel like that it would invalidate the times that it does go off.
Yeah,
Probably.
and then you would get bored with it. I mean, when you're people like us that's been investigating for 10, 15, 20 years, you tend to get a little bored. You tend to run out of fresh ideas. And, that's why we're always trying experiments and trying new pieces of equipment. And just because something doesn't work for you doesn't mean it doesn't work for somebody else. And,
Right.
I'm always wanting to see what kind of new equipment somebody has. And I want to try it and see if I can get anything out of it. Like a Periscope 360. I bought this thing. And when I first got it, it worked well for me. That thing will not do anything
Same
for
here.
me, but my niece can use it and it works. I thought it was broke, and she picks it up and turns it on, and she's sitting there having it doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm like, well, I guess it's yours now because it doesn't like me. So, I mean, it's just, it's each your own. And it just, I love this. I can't wait to watch this because this was awesome because I haven't got to go back and watch it.
Yep.
And just being there in person was awesome. It was an awesome experiment. It's one of my favorites that I've done over the years, really, just because it was so cool how it turned out. Yeah. Yeah.
And
cool.
Tim, yes, we have not uploaded the EDI SD card, but we did. I did have that recording while we were in there. So, and that's what I love about that EDI box is that it does have that great graphing. Let's see. And let's see. Tracy says that she was on the live. She enjoyed it. And Susan says it was awesome from a viewer's perspective. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to start the audio on it. And like I said, feel free, you two, to chime in on this. I'm trying to figure out where the best place to start this is.
Yeah, I'll be in front of you.
I think I was just kind of setting up the lights at that point. There we go. So what we did was we actually had, you'll see the tripwire running behind me there. And so we actually had that running through, and we had it running up through the hole in the ceiling with a camera on it to see if anything would go off. And
So you
then,
can turn these flashlights on just by coming up to them and touching them.
let's see here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and everybody was,
flashlight right there
of course, I didn't see the comments. Everybody was talking about how it was sideways, but on my camera, it
Can you
looked
turn that off?
normal.
Right, it was. Yeah, it did. It was weird.
Yeah, so sorry about that, guys.
All right.
StreamYard was
So-
weird.
Yeah.
Pick a flashlight, and we're going to play some cards. Brandon.
Yeah, brand new day.
Okay, ready.
And if you can't see it, I'm just going to maximize the screen for a second there.
So you guys wanna play?
Yeah,
We've got the flashlight set up in threes
Just
right
like
there.
brand new deck.
And nobody's walking. Nobody's moving.
Are
So
you with us over there?
you know the vibration's not turning that flashlight on and off.
Okay, if you're at the, if you're over here to play cards, can you turn your flashlight on so we can see?
You want to play cards with, okay? Can you see it from that back end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right.
Okay, turn your light out. Oh,
he's
got his on. Yeah.
Anybody else? Can you turn this light on? I may have to reset that one. No?
I mean,
Okay.
No, you don't.
No, just waiting patiently. Turn your lights out so we can get some rules established.
Yeah, so we're gonna
play 5-card poker. Best hand wins. And the way we're gonna do it, so we'll deal you 5 cards, and then if you want to trade a card out, you turn your light on. She'll ask you that. And then after that's done, she'll take, once she flips her card over, we'll help you make sure that you get the best winning hand with whatever cards are dealt. And the winning we hand didn't do. will have you turn your light on if But you it think worked you out win. better.
You
like that?
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It actually worked out better.
Next time we do this, we could try it here at the jail. We'll actually deal them face up so we see what they have
On my
and
camera,
see if they tell us
on my camera it did. But
which they want to turn off. Or, I mean, which they want to change.
yeah.
That way we can validate. Do they have? I guess we must have frozen up there.
We
That-
did. This was cool because even though we said we were going to help them, they were face down. We couldn't see
Yep.
them.
Yeah.
And so that just even more validated to me that, you know, once you watch this, it's going to be like, yeah, we can't even see the cards, but they're telling us, hey, I got the winning hand. You know, that's just too cool.
There we go. So
Who's that
Brandon was bringing us back.
He was our
Can you hear us
savior.
there, Brandon?
Yep.
All right. He says we're good to go.
He's in producer mode.
Right?
Well, these have been going on and off, and as Tiffany was saying, we have had the craziest issues. We've got good local data, we've got Wi-Fi, everything, and it's just,
Okay, I'm talking.
Even
Let's-
trying to sync stuff up, you know, just from the get-go,
yeah.
from the minute we went live, it just, because it was showing me one thing, but it
Things
was
we
doing
haven't
another, and
got
it's
to
just
go
craziness.
over any of the
Yeah.
recordings yet. We haven't had time.
All right.
So-
Yeah.
But for here, you're-
We didn't get into like
and,
what 3 last
we're
time,
gonna
3 or
play some
4.
cards.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
What
after
that, 5 face down?
Yeah,
3.
yeah, do face down first.
Okay, we've got everybody lighting up. Okay, great. All right, so we've got all 3 lighting up. Can you turn yours on right quick? Just want to make sure you're ready. You ready? Turn your light.
I thought this
Can
was cool
everybody
because they were
hear
telling
us
us
and
they
all
were
that
ready.
good stuff? Everybody watching?
So when I deal them out, do you mean stack them or just?
I'll just lay them out flat.
When we
Paula,
knew this cabin was
Yeah,
going to
okay,
be
so-
active.
We use Maglite.
All right, everybody says all good.
Yeah.
Flashlight.
But they will work with the others, and they'll
Yeah,
work
they'll
with
use
laser
push
grids.
button lights, grid lights. I've had them
Mhm.
turn my grid lights on and off. Yeah. But this cabin, when we did our walkthrough, we had a lot of emotion and stuff in this cabin that we were picking up on and stuff. So we knew we was going to get some
Okay,
good
so this,
Okay.
sorry, so this was neat.
Now, did we say if they,
So turn your light out, please. Go ahead and turn your light out because we got to see who wants a new card. Step back from it just a little bit more.
I'm gonna also start at the odds.
Okay.
See if we did anything.
I've got the recorder going.
Okay.
See if we get any EVPs. All the lights are on.
3 lights.
Okay, so everybody wants a hit then? Everybody wants a new card?
I'll give, am I taking one more?
Yeah, take one away.
I'll take a hit.
And that was probably my bad because I didn't know which one to take. I just kind of went.
We
with
were
what-
winging it at this point. It was just an idea that popped up like, hey, let's
Yep.
play a poker game and see what that happens.
But I'm already thinking of ways that we could change that to actually
Me too.
validate.
You need to give him one. The middle guy.
Oh, I thought I did.
You pulled one, you didn't give him one back. Okay. All right, turn your flashlight on if you think you have the win in hand.
Start.
All right, let's see what we got here. We got 9 of clubs, 9 of hearts, 3 of diamonds, Queen of diamonds, and a joker. They're all
So you got 2 pair, queens high,
Sound like you know what you're talking about. Queen's high.
2, 3, jack,
I might play a little bit.
5. You got 1 pair.
I have a terrible poker face, so
I got 1 pair.
joker.
So you're like flashlight number
Wild
3.
card.
yeah.
Man, that one was a bad poker player.
Oh god,
Yeah, he
it's
was.
horrible.
Well, I'll be Monkey's uncle. You do have the win in hand.
Look at him. He's like, he's clapping. He's just
Yeah,
like,
was still
flashing just before.
You knew you had the win in hand, huh?
See
Are
that?
you
Like,
really
how
good at
could-
poker?
The cards were face down.
Wow.
He knew he had the win in hand.
That was pretty cool.
Tell me.
That was cool.
'Cause as soon
Yeah.
as we asked
Yeah,
that
that was
flashlight
neat.
come on, it went boom.
Yep.
And he had the win in hand, and it was like this. I mean, as soon as that come on, I was like, now
Yeah,
we
that's
got
cool.
a new experiment to play with when we go places.
uh-huh.
And so this was
Everybody's saying,
just awesome.
ooh, Dee Dee says, wow, they were right.
That was really cool.
Mama says that was cool.
I'm going to see if I can.
And they know what the cards are face down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool.
So I'm just skipping ahead till
Yeah, they're cheating.
actually let
That's
me.
why play for some money.
So we were
What
doing a
happens if we play
second
for some
hand.
money?
They were all broke. They didn't want to play for money.
Yeah.
Do they want to go a little gambling later?
What was that red flashing?
I'm sure we can.
It was I figured it out. It was a lens flare, just from that, because that's the
It
grid
hit.
light.
Okay.
And so it was just
I
kind
was
of making a
looking.
weird flare on my camera at a certain angle.
Gotcha. You
A
probably
red
hit a
light
dot.
flashed in the corner. I mean, I've got the grid light set up, but
You probably
I guess
hit
it flashed.
one of the.
I don't know.
grids.
Trying to fix my shirt.
It was just right out of the.
Like that.
No,
There it is.
no, it's a lens flare. No, never mind. I've got it. It's a lens flare. Okay.
You know, and we do go into this with I mean, as much as we've seen,
Mhm.
that's undeniable, we still do go into this with a level of skepticism and try to
Yeah, they're
debunk
cheating now, okay?
things.
All right. So, who wants a hit? And if you need more, okay.
Yep.
If you
See,
want more
stuff like that. Like he's looking at his cards, and then he's like, "Oh, yep, let me turn my light on."
You can think one. Go back, take a card away on that one.
Yeah, we definitely want to figure out a way to
Anybody
figure out
else?
how many cards to give them. They
Yeah.
were kind of having a little difficulty with that, but this experiment, we
I
can
would
build on
almost
this
think they
and
would
have a really
No.
cool.
See, there
He
he
just
is.
decided he wants to hit.
Yeah.
All right.
They would almost know what cards
And
they're
he
gonna
was
get.
flashing, really.
I mean, they
Yeah.
know what they are.
I should have
face
probably
down.
given him a couple. And then,
Yeah.
Now he's figured it out.
Yeah.
They're all, yeah, they're thinking on their hands now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody turn your lights out.
Turn your lights off now. Get your light on, bro. You turn your light off now? On the count of 3, turn your light off.
And see, now that light, that's what got me because it was on full,
Mhm.
and then it went completely off. So
Yeah, it didn't.
You got the
It didn't,
Didn't flicker
or gradiate or anything like that.
So that takes away my spring argument right there. So that's incredible.
Who wants to take another hit?
Me.
All right. Well, let Insta get one more hit if you want. What about you two?
Anybody else need another hit?
They must not like their hands. Okay, what about you in the middle? You want to hit? Going once? Going twice?
He's good.
All right, turn your flashlights off.
Mhm.
Turn your light off. Because we're getting ready to call it.
I mean, it's just
All right.
instant.
Just off. Yeah.
Call it. Who's got the winning hand?
Who's got the winning hand?
Do you want us to check and see who has the winning hand? Do you want us to just look, turn the light on? Are your hands that bad?
and they were terrible.
Yeah,
That's why none of
like,
them, they were
yeah,
all
my
sitting there
hand is
like, I
terrible.
ain't got no winning hand.
And then they
Oh,
just
they
all
do.
pop on like, yeah, these suck.
Okay,
Yeah.
you gotta know when to hold and know when to fold them, right? All right, okay. Let's flip them over, let's see.
But you know, the one that turned his on
Oh,
last.
okay, yeah, they're ready to see.
All right.
Okay, I'm looking at the comments.
Yeah, he ended up being the winner, didn't he?
Yeah.
Dee Dee,
Yeah.
that red light, I don't know if you heard me, that was just a lens flare.
I think that's a true statement with number
Yeah,
two.
James. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he had a good poker face.
Ghost number 2 is showing a good poker face.
And that's
Okay,
true.
so let's see
Tiffany
what we
was.
got here.
I give everybody a hard
Pair
time, dead or
queens.
alive.
Yes.
This one's
We got 3 of a kind. So wild card and 2 8s. And you got shit. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Pardon my language, everybody. You have a pair. So it's got a pair. They got a pair, 3 of a kind.
And this one's the last one to turn on.
Yep. And they were saying the one in the middle has a good poker face. So yeah. All right. Good job.
I say we do another hand. See if.
Good job. Oh yeah.
You won.
Yeah. Oh, they're all wanting to play again. They're liking this.
Really good.
Yeah, this is cool.
And see, this is what I love when you're getting such good
Now, when
intelligent
we get serious, we
activity
start playing for
and
months.
they are wanting to interact so badly. And, you know, that it's just,
Or
Just
do y'all not
takes
have
it
any
up a
money to
notch.
play with?
Mhm.
Yep.
Because it's like when you truly find your way of
So
of
what do you wanna do?
having a communication with that specific spirit, you know, we're not only doing
Well, while we're
using
playing,
a trigger, but
let's
we're also
talk
using
about,
an easy to use tool to
the
manipulate that
man who
trigger.
cheated that
Yep.
Yeah.
got killed in here. Did anybody? Yeah.
Do you know him?
Did you two know him?
I tell you what, there's nothing I hate more than a cheater. Maybe a lot.
Is he in the room with us?
I mean, that was.
He
Yes.
Okay, turn your lights out. I want to ask another question while she's shuffling. Go ahead, turn your lights out, please. You too.
And turn your light off.
Yeah, you ain't got a good poker face. You give your hand away, Ernie. Turn your light out. There you go.
Good
So
Lord.
he's here with us. Is he playing?
We don't. We don't.
got- We got the pit boss here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, cut on no slack.
Did y'all tell him not that he can't play?
You know what? I wonder if,
They,
yeah, I wonder if.
I don't blame you.
my phone in there, if Brandon can pull my phone up and it would have it on the line.
yeah, could be, could be.
Brandon,
Okay.
you can hear me?
We debated playing blackjack,
Go back.
Bob, but you're right. That would be a good game to try.
Wouldn't take as long.
No, and
Okay, turn your light off.
I know I
Turn your
did
lights off. I want to ask another question.
a high-low game that worked really well with the flashlights.
All right.
Here I
Can
come.
you guys hear me?
There's Brandon. He's trying to pull you up.
And that's true, Dee Dee.
Hey, you
It,
know
it
what? I
was
can turn my phone
relatable
around.
for them too. We don't know
There
what
you
they were
go.
playing, but
Yep.
they could have definitely. I mean, out of all of them, probably playing poker. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we need to be able to hear yours. I can mute mine. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead while I was putting that up.
Okay, did one of you three?
Okay.
That's. You're,
Yeah, I've got a
Okay.
Texas Hold'em poker kit that I've done decided is going in my
There you go.
paranormal kit.
There you go.
I didn't see nothing.
So we were doing a
And,
third
what
hand.
you guys are seeing on that other camera in there is you're seeing the tripwire that we put up into the hole.
I didn't even notice if that changed
The
at
guy
all.
climbed up and did-
From
I would.
from our side, no.
So
I never
let us
seen it
know
light up
if
at
you
all.
See anything go off.
But I'm wondering about that in that back room.
I know these guys are
Yeah.
ready to play.
Yeah, they're liking this poker game. I like to play cards too. I play cards all night. All right, turn your lights off so she can
Turn your lights off.
deal them out.
You're ready. Step back. 1, 2, 3, let's go. One step on back. All right, here we go.
Thank you for watching, Mike.
Yeah, thank you everybody for watching and
He's saying he has to go, so I was telling him thank you for saying or for watching. Okay, turn your lights off. Let's make this a little easier. Turn your lights off.
It's like those two were trash talking back and forth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like a poker game would be,
Here,
yeah.
you go back.
Right?
I mean, three just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah, he's just flashing all together.
Okay, can you flash how many cards?
He was a
you want?
crappy poker
We have
player.
a
All he could do
recorder
was
going
run his
right now.
mouth.
Okay, turn your lights off.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, how many cards do you want?
And I'll get to the questions over here in the comments because there's some I want to get to here in a second once we.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear the recordings. To
Do
see if
you
we can
only
actually
want
call
one
some
card?
smack
The
talk
guy in
or
the middle?
something.
Do you just want one card? Okay.
One.
Don't say anything else.
How about you? Do you want a card?
Yeah. Okay.
It's interesting
your
that they
light
light
off.
up when you start addressing the specific ones.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I guess just give him one.
One, what, times, but can you tell me how many cards you want?
Thank you, Becky, for watching. Okay, if you want 2 cards, turn your light on. The third guy here on the end.
Do you want 3 cards? 4 cards? You want to hold your hand? Or do you just hold one?
What was that knocking?
I don't know. I was going to say, did you hear something?
Just give him one.
All
I
right.
wonder if he was saying
Okay.
3 cards.
Could have.
Does everybody want to hold? If you want to hold the hand you got, turn your light on. Turn your light off. So you want to hold? Okay. You want to hold. All right. Well, let's call them. So turn your lights off.
All right. Turn lights off. One down. Turn the lights off. We're going to go ahead and
Step back further. You're too close to the lights. There you go. Right, poker face. Step back.
let's step back. We're going to call it. He's like, I'm calling.
Yeah. Okay, turn your light on if you think you have the winning hand.
Who has the winning hand?
Oh, Mr. Cocky over here, yeah. Oh, he thinks he's got the winning hand. Oh, we got the duel going down.
I love it how the person's
All
like,
right. What about you, poker
Yeah.
face in the middle there? You think you got a winning hand?
Yeah, when this is over, I definitely want to comment on the personalities of these 3.
Right.
You have the worst hand in the world. Why would you say that you had the best hand?
That's why this one.
He's the bluffer.
Yeah, he was flashing over. I
Uh-huh.
think he was flashing and laughing at him.
So,
Like, you expected to win with that hand? Oh, I touched that. I turned that on. I'll have to fix it. Oh, 2 jacks. He did have the winning hand.
Yeah, so they were right
All
again.
right.
He had the winning hand.
Yeah, you're
And
the poker player, ain't you?
If you play cards and you play with people, so the first guy, he's kind of like me. I'm going to be quiet, but I don't have the best poker face, because if I know I have a good hand, I'm all in. If I don't have a good hand, I'm just kind of quiet and sit back. So I'm an easy read, unfortunately, but I still like to play. The guy number 2 had the best poker face.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He didn't give anything away. Number 3, he's the bluffer. He's the one that's crap talking, turning his flashlight on, talking at the other ones, trying to get in their head, trying to bluff them, and had horrible hands. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to beat you. And he had a terrible hand, you know? And then that other guy, he's like, yeah, no, you didn't win. I did. And so if you were sitting around playing with living people, those are the exact kind of personalities that you would be playing with. So, I mean, it just is even more relatable. So with the flashlights and then the personalities and all that stuff, I mean, it's just, this has by far been one of my favorites, and it's going to be a staple in a lot of places that I go from now on, because it was just so cool.
Yeah,
For
it was
sure.
Amazing.
And Paul asked, he said, is it easier for the spirits to turn lights on and off rather than moving objects such as the cards?
I think it depends on the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's a good question, because it's energy.
It is.
It's light. The flashlight's doing energy, so it's probably easier for them to manipulate the the frequency or the energy of that light than it would be to pick up an object. Just my opinion.
Because essentially because the laws don't apply normal
Yep.
our laws, but we're asking them to like we're turning something on if they're using energy versus actually moving something that's in another, I don't want to say another dimension, but in another time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that
I'll be right back.
I think that certain beings just have a higher energy level. So for them, it's just as easy to toss something across the room as it is to turn on the flashlight. But I think the flashlights are a very easy tool for spirits to turn on. It takes less energy, but you'll notice the longer you go in a session, even with the flashlights, the spirits start tiring out. And so, you know, that's what like the EMF pumps are for, like to pump energy into the atmosphere to help them to be able to work these devices and get enough energy to interact with us. But I do think that there's spirits that I don't care what you throw down there, they have the power to throw you across the room or something else. Whereas, you know, Joe Blow goes down the road, he does good to turn the flashlight on. He's just not very strong, you know, for whatever reason. And I'm not saying a demon's the one that's the strongest to do that. Right. I mean, you know, even if you go to, you know, parapsychology and fact-based stuff, you know, where they've studied poltergeist activity for years, you know, you send stuff flying across the room, that's easy for a poltergeist, but they're feeding off the energy of typically prepubescent girls in the home, like teenagers. And so that's done been proven over and over and over by lots of parapsychologists. And so, you know, for a poltergeist, yeah, they can sling anything across the room. It's easy for them. Where, say, maybe if it was just me, I'd be like, you want me to move what? So I think it depends on the spirit. I think it depends on the energy. And, you know, because sometimes you feel like there's somebody there and they're trying to turn the light on, and some of them even struggle to turn the light on. So,
and I mean that's
kind of an open-ended question. I mean, you could, it's definitely something that you could get into a real deep dive debate about.
I mean, because we've had stuff pull things off the wall and throw it off the wall here at the jail, and you know, I think it just depends, really.
Yeah.
You know, and it may not be in the same spirit, may have different activity. I mean, different abilities depending on the days, especially if they're feeding off the energy. Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you get some good sleep tonight. He says the interaction you all are having is amazing and the responses are instant. Thank you for that. Let's see. Tim says each entity could have had and used a specific kinetic energy custom to them. Yeah.
And
absolutely.
This is true. We're all unique. So, you know, that would make perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we kind of went on a little bit longer with the card session. I won't get into all that. We kind of introduced another, we can sort of talk about it. We introduced another flashlight into the mix, which we were calling the cheater, asking him to use that light. And that was kind of interesting how that happened, because everyone gave him permission to play. He did light up a couple times, but he honestly just acted like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was afraid to play with them.
Yeah. So we show that. I'm trying to think if there was anything else on this that we want to bring up before we call it a night. After we did this session, we ended up taking a little bit of an intermission, and I know we had to charge a few things. I took my phone to try to show a little bit of what was going on in the Native American Culture Center, and it was wild. I was sitting at 30% battery. And when I showed a couple of the different artifacts that was in there, one in particular, Booger Face, my phone battery instantly drained and just shut down.
Yeah, and Brandon, since you're back, if you could tell the viewers about the Booger Face. So, because Miranda just told us
yes.
how it killed her phone. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and first of all, I apologize. I had to grab something to eat. I've been sitting here for like 4 hours, so apologize for that. So the Booger Face, it's a small carved mask that is not. I don't know why it's sitting out without an offering. It's not a very good thing, especially for women. And pregnant women definitely should not be around it. And I guess it showed its power on your cell phone when you went over there to try to show it off, and it does that. I mean, it's all like, I don't know, yay big.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think right
yeah,
here.
it's not that big. But I just found that interesting because you had already told us about that, because I was like, what is that? You know, and you were like, why is that even out? And so you told us the story, and then, you know, it completely killed her phone, and her phone wouldn't charge after that.
No, it would
Like,
not.
It killed her phone.
Yeah, literally.
And
Yeah.
I'm actually going to where I showed it.
And it made her ride her motorcycle at 4 a.m.
It did.
I'm gonna blame it on that.
And now, of course, my thing is going to spin as I start playing it there.
Really?
Okay, let's see here. I was looking to see where. Okay, so I think this is where I got up. Yeah, so I get up. Whoops. Apparently it wasn't. Yeah. There's where it froze it. So, yeah, so you've got my view on the computer there. You've got my view on the phone. And, whoops. Oh, so here we go.
And there it is.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see the detail. It is kind of creepy.
Oh, I
looking.
zoom in.
Oh,
on
there.
it.
Yeah. So that's it.
So it's like, boom, there's Booger Face. I think I even said something about it.
Let's see, arrowheads, flints. Let's see, my phone just died.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, right after I show him. So, yeah, I thought that was, I mean,
And of course, that was
nothing
some
dramatic,
really
but just kind of something strange that happened. And so after we did our little break here, we went up to the Burdine cabin, which I won't go into the whole Estes method session. I mean, we can do that maybe on another show or save it for the other episode when I end up releasing the other footage. But basically, we regrouped. We went up to the Burdine cabin, which what was interesting about that, I mean, there were so many interesting things about it, but what was fascinating is that you had all of these artifacts that were original from the 1700s. And this cabin, it's no joke.
So
it was quite out there in the woods.
Yeah, it had a lot of powerful energy to it.
Remind me never to stand next to you. It's just horrible. I'm so short. Oh my god.
Gnome and Amazon.
The gnome and the Amazon.
Hey, I just tell everybody she's my bouncer.
Right?
Which, hey, she is, because we were
That's
at a
true.
concert and she bounced this dude that kept like getting in my personal space. I
Yeah.
turned to get the bouncer, and when I turned back around, she done had him on the ground. I was like, I don't need you. I got her. So
I mean,
That's true. He looked like Chumley too from from Pawn Stars. And
I got it down. Okay.
I took him downtown. He didn't want none of that.
Oh, God. This was our whole trip together. Our time together was just laughing and snorts. It's amazing.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Another fellow Amazonian here, or sister Amazonian.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna start having to wear heels.
That might be a great trigger in and of itself.
It's gonna trigger something.
Brandon come waltzing in heels, and
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, you never know what you might get.
So James asks, he says, did you run into the elemental? And I think that's a good segue for what we were doing here.
That is a good segue.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes on my part.
And she didn't, and you don't know this, but you didn't start getting hot until I think I looked at Miranda and said, hey, let's go ahead and fight the elemental in.
Yeah, we opened the door.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we told him to go on over in there, sit right beside. No, we didn't actually do
No,
that.
I didn't do all that, but I just
I was
kind
going
of
to say,
invited
thanks, guys.
No, I invited it to come in with me. Now, I don't think it came in further than the porch, but that's close enough for an elemental.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what you're seeing here is, we had the, we were doing the Estes method because we were having so many issues with battery drain on phones and other equipment. Instead of doing the Estes method like we were originally going to do with somebody maybe at the Burdine cabin and somebody at the Native American Archaeological Center or what have you, we were all in the same building. And I guarantee you, you couldn't hear what anyone was saying whenever you had those headphones on here. Because the ones
we turn those up, the volume is all the way up on those till it almost hurts your ears.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Did you see the orb? I'm just kidding. I'm so kidding. I'm sorry. It was a demon.
It was an alien.
It was an alien demon from
With
Newark,
wings.
New Jersey.
an alienamental.
Elemental.
Yes. What I thought was actually really creepy about this is, so there were certain things you were saying that was corresponding with, so I was for the most part pretty much only asking questions that were being asked in the comments section.
Okay.
And then I did ask one or two. I think Brandon was asking some of his own questions. And then what was crazy is we started hearing something marching around the cabin
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
on the
Yeah,
outside.
we did.
I thought that was creepy.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the SS method. It's something that you have to work with. You got to get used to it. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it, the better you get at it. You find your sweet spot. I'm pretty comfortable with the SS method, and I was getting so much in that cabin that it was almost kind of hard to keep up with everything that was being said. And I was getting multiple voices. They were talking over each other. I couldn't hear I could hear them talking, but I couldn't make it out because they were talking all over top of each other. So, it was a great Estes method or Estes session.
You said, one at a time. You're like, one at a time, please.
Yeah, I did. I was like, y'all, everybody stop talking. I can't understand you guys.
And we'll definitely go over that stuff with the Estes here at another time. I know, like I said, we got a little bit of a later start tonight on the show because I had that tour here at the jail. But is there anywhere else you guys want me to pull up that comes to mind?
Well, I want to talk about y'all inviting this elemental in when I started getting hot.
Oh, that's nothing. Don't worry about that. That little
Because I
guy.
did. My head started tingling. And then I started getting a little warm and then warmer and warmer and warmer. And then I got really, really hot. And that's why I said, and I got this, I'm not going to call it a growl. It was this like guttural, inhuman noise. I don't know what it was. But,
Yeah.
and then I was so hot. That's when I was like, okay, I'm calling it. I'm done. You know,
Yeah.
they were still talking. I was still getting stuff, but I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm out.
Mhm.
You got to know when to call it too. You got, you know,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
gotta, you know, watch out for yourself. But I did start getting really, really hot.
Yeah. No, we did at one point, and what was interesting is when you started getting the knocking was when we opened the door.
Yep.
And as soon as we opened the door, you said welcome.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Mhm. Yeah. And it was totally different because you were talking to multiple spirits, obviously. And this one, it was like all of a sudden there was this, it was almost like a warning at first, and we were getting like warning words.
Like
And then all of a
run
sudden,
yeah.
yeah, and then all of a sudden door opens, and it's like welcome. I mean, it was totally different tone, different inflection.
Yeah,
Um,
all the runs were from a female and the same female voice. So, I mean, I was getting more than one female, but every time I heard the word run, it was the same female, same voice. So maybe she was scared or something, I don't know, or maybe she's trying to scare us, or maybe she knew something that the other spirits didn't know, I don't know. But it was the same per one over and over that was saying the word run.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. Well, and then it was interesting when he opened the door, then it wasn't long after that that you started feeling the heat. And I can't remember where we were hearing the walking around the cabin because you did close the door at one point, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was when we started hearing the walking around the cabin. And we heard a couple knocks or walks, couldn't really tell, on the second floor, but you would hear it around the window, and it was like it was just circling. So I'm interested to see if the recorders picked that up or if even the phones picked that up.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be nice. We'll
Mhm.
go back and look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm anxious to listen to the audio from there and see what we got. So
Yeah.
just did not have time. We didn't get until late, and so but yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to get to that this week and get started because I want to hear it because I'm pretty sure we're gonna hear some Class A EVPs.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
there's just
Oh yeah.
no doubt in my mind that we're gonna get them. So
Yep.
No doubt about it. And I want to go back and even listen to the audio on the hopefully there through StreamYard it picked up really good. That's the other thing that's different is, normally I've always wearing a mobile recorder in my phone, and video camera, whatever, usually picks stuff up. I don't know how easy it's going to pick up stuff through the live.
Well, I mean, we've already heard some tonight that we didn't hear while we were there. That knock in the first cabin, and
Mm-hmm.
so
well, and
I
on
mean-
your other lives, I've heard stuff.
That's
you
true.
know, when you were at rugby, I was
That's true.
hearing stuff. So, it's a lot fainter. It's not as loud as if I was listening to it on the recorder. But I think if you listen closely, so when people are participating in these lives, it's better if you do put on some headphones,
Mhm.
earbuds, or whatever. You'll be able to hear a little better. But
Yeah.
those voices are going to be a little more faint.
Yeah.
Just because we're using the phones.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, if you guys watch that stuff, notice anything, please send me your timestamps because that way we can go back and look, and we'll definitely make sure that we put what you sent in the episode if we're able to go back and hear and see something, because some of the best captures have been ones that people have messaged out and said, hey, did you see this or did you hear this at this time? So
Yeah. I'm cold. Sorry, I gotta put my shirt on.
No, you're fine. I'm sitting here hugged up to the heater here in the jail. But I know we're getting. Whoa! I don't know why microphone raised up like that. We're getting close here. That was weird.
Can you hear me?
it just like that was odd.
Jeez. That was, okay.
That was weird. Sally's not even in here.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So we're getting close here to midnight and almost going for 2 hours. So I think we're going to wrap things up here pretty quickly. I can't thank you guys enough for this wonderful Tuesday night that we had.
Yeah, I had a ball. I can't thank
Oh.
Brandon enough. Like,
I
you
didn't
were
do nothing.
an awesome host, and you were awesome to investigate with. We all just meshed really well right off the bat, and it made for a great night. And so definitely can't wait to get back. But Brandon's a gracious host, and y'all should definitely go check out Hey Good Meal. It's been one of my favorite places, really. I like residential, but as far as like traveling and going to more commercial places, this has been one of my favorites. It really has.
And Tiffany's investigated a lot of places. So that's a big, a big compliment. And again, thank you all. I know I've gotten a lot of great feedback from this past episode. Appreciate that. Thank you, Tim.
Good.
That is a
Yeah.
good point. And so trying to make sure I get through everything here. Definitely be watching. We probably will not be live again until next Tuesday night. I know we had 3 this week, but we've got a very long trip to next week's investigation for episode 4. We're going to be traveling to Virginia, and again, we're going to be covering a place that is either a heritage museum, an old home place, or a village. So kind of stay tuned for that for more information on where we're going to be next Tuesday night. Hopefully it'll be as active as this one. And then we'll follow up the next Thursday with another live where we break down the episode. Couple events. I know, actually, let me get this pulled up. I'm going to start really sharing this out. Like I said on the earlier lives, we had a great weekend there at London, Kentucky. Sorry, word loss and late and trying to scroll and do multiple things at one time. We had a great weekend there at London, Kentucky. Hopefully we'll be doing another event there next year. And so definitely hope you guys will come and check that out. I was looking for the event that's going to be coming up on November 4th. Regardless, it is called, okay, I think I found it here. It's called Harleys
What?
and Harlots. And I'm going to pull this up right here. I finally found the screen. It is going to be a murder mystery party, and it's hosted by Paranormal Adventures Events. And so I'm getting to be teamed up with the beautiful Miss JB Coates, who is the author of Obsidian. And we're going to be at the Hotel Metropolitan, and that's going to be on November 4th, and it's at 5 p.m. And what's really cool about this is you're going to get to be part of this murder mystery event with an optional ghost hunt. We've got more information on that, but I've heard nothing but amazing things about the Hotel Metropolitan. So I'm really excited that that Paranormal Adventure Events has invited me to be a part of this event. So come out, figure out who done it, and do a ghost hunt with us at the Hotel Metropolitan. If you hadn't seen my episode that I did with JB Coates and Paranormal Adventure Events, you can definitely go back and check that out under the Ghost Biker Garage. We had a great conversation with them, and JB shared some very cool captures that she's had. The one where she gets pulled by the head of her hair out of her seat is incredible. I think you saw that, Brandon. I mean, that was
I did.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out.
Oh,
Ooh.
you got to see this. She's sitting there talking, and she's got a ponytail, and her ponytail raises up, and she just gets
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Oh,
I hated
cool. Okay.
laughing. I hated laughing because she comes out of her seat. It's,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, it's
Yeah, you'll have to
wild.
show me that.
Yeah, I'll show
Yeah.
you that.
The details on this event sound super fun. I mean, this sounds
Yeah.
really cool. I think this would be a really cool event.
Yeah, and like I said, I've heard some really good things about this place. So I will be sharing more information about that. But one click get you the tickets. We've got the link to the tickets there on the page. But it's Harleys and Harlots Mystery Event and Ghost Hunt there at the Hotel Metropolitan. So we will share. I'll be sharing that poster out tomorrow. I was trying not to share too much all at once, so I didn't cannibalize all my posts and stuff. So. So I'll be sharing that out there tomorrow. But again, thank you guys, and thank you all over there in the audience so much for watching and spending your time with us. You know, we always say it every week that time is definitely the most precious thing we have, and the fact that you spent that time with us is just so touching and very much appreciated. So I will see you all next Tuesday night live from Virginia. Take care, everyone. Bye.